I'm here trying to solve a bunch of health issues. Guys, I recently turned 50. And I don't know if this is a midlife crisis. Some would say it's a little over past midlife, but I'm on this journey and I'm going to be in the best health I've ever been in. And I'm going to have more fun. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to look better because I got a smoke show of a wife that I got to keep up with. And she's a little younger. Here's the thing. I brought one of my best friends in the world and more importantly, one of my most trusted advisors. When I'm talking to someone that I want answers and I know they're going to be real with me and not give me something they read out of a medical book somewhere or something that, they're supposed to say because of their position, but I know I'm going to get real talk. I reach out to my friend, John Nieters, because for me, my health matters and I'm not taking chances. So John, thanks for joining me today. Hey, quick question. I'm 50 and I was talking to one of my friends the other day that I used to play basketball with for ages. I mean, we played all over the world together. Guy played college basketball at a high level, dabbled in the NBA for a little bit, and I connected with him and we're just catching up. And he told me something that shocked me. He's like, bro, one of the best things I just recently started doing was I started taking testosterone. And I went to this lab and got some data and some stuff. And man, it's changed my life. And he was telling me all the things. And I got a question for you because there's all these myths and all these preconceived ideas about testosterone. John, I need your help. How does a guy like me, who's a former athlete, I say former, it was yesterday's home run. I'm 50 now. I'm just trying to do life, but I want to look good. I want to feel good. How does a guy like me know when to start taking some testosterone? How do I get guidance on that? And then what are the effects? Both, what can someone like that expect to experience, like myself, if they do start taking? What would be the advantages?
Awesome. Yeah. And we'll also get into some myths as well, because we need to get this information out there. So number one, understanding that as a male, your testosterone levels are going to peak at 25. Then every year after 25, you're going to lose 1%. There is a little bit of a range, but on average, 1% every single year. And that's compounded. So 1% and then 1%, it's just worse and worse and worse. Now, you're going to start noticing effects like loss of energy. You're going to start noticing effects like potentially mood swings. You're going to start noticing effects like after you work out, it takes you longer to recover. I think most people probably have that one happen a lot. Now, those are the big ones there. There are some others as well. I mean, libido is obviously a massive one for a lot of guys. So let's get into some myths and then we'll talk about the benefits. So number one, people think that just because you're getting testosterone potentially or looking at TRT, that all of a sudden you're going to have all this aggression, you're going to be angry all the time. And that's just absolutely not true. If you're optimizing testosterone, now let's also talk about this. If you take way more testosterone than you need and you're trying to do an anabolic cycle, sure, there's definitely effects with that. But what we're talking about in this conversation is truly optimizing testosterone. So making it so that your levels based upon your goals are ideal. It does not mean just push your levels as high as possible. Everybody's body is different. So what that will do for you is it will actually make your mood more stabilized. You also don't have to worry about your testicles shrinking, because if you're optimizing that, that's another big myth. If you get on testosterone, your balls are going to shrink, right? No, you optimize it, they will not shrink. Now, if you are looking at fertility stuff, potentially, if you're on it for a long time or you're on a high dose, sure. But you can get that back easily by adding an extra compound or pausing the testosterone replacement therapy if you're trying to have a kid. Now, another thing that people look at as well is, it increases the incidence of heart attacks and strokes or major cardiovascular events. There actually was a recent article that just got put out by one of the boards of medicine. My dad actually gave it to me. He's a family practitioner. And he loves giving me articles. So I always read them and they're pretty incredible. They actually had to take some of the labeling off of testosterone packaging that used to say may cause increased risk of cardiovascular event, because they did a study that actually proved that that was not the case. And so what's going to happen here in this realm of testosterone, a lot more men are going to get access to testosterone through normal means, which is huge because we need to address the issue. Men's diets are crazy compared to how they used to be. Think about traditionally the average male today, what their diet looks like versus what our ancestors 100 years looked like. There were no processed foods. There were no plastics in the foods that cause a spike in estrogen. There's all sorts of issues going on. So now what you're going to gain, you're going to have better recovery, increased libido. Your smoke shovel wife, she's going to appreciate that, as I'm sure everybody else's wives will. You're going to have increased confidence, not only in the bedroom, but you're going to be able to have more confidence when you walk into a room. When you walk into that room and you light that room up and people just know your presence, that's what you're after. And you want to be felt. Your essence wants to be felt when you walk in and know that you are in control and you are a powerful creator. That's what you want. And that's what testosterone will help you with. You want to make sure, though, that as you're doing testosterone placement therapy, the most crucial part in your therapy and the most expensive is the monitoring. So you can go get testosterone crazy places, black market guys at the gym. You can go online and get it some places. But recently at one of the conferences I was at in Texas, they actually did a study. The study was, out of these online places, what amount of these vials was either labeled incorrectly, didn't have any active testosterone, or had harmful solvents in them from the finishing process being cut. So that number was over 2/3 of products that they found were either mislabeled, they had inactive ingredients, so you're just basically doing a saline, which you're just injecting some ester of an oil, which is not helpful, or you're doing something that has other products in it, which can be super dangerous, or the dosing's way off, which is just as harmful. So normally, traditionally in medicine, you're getting 200 milligrams per ml traditionally with men. What happens if all of a sudden you get something that's labeled as that, but it really has 400 or 350? Well, that's going to cause some major problems, right? So it's all about making sure that you have the highest quality of products, which is why testosterone through a normal pharmacy is more expensive. You monitor as well, which is even more crucial. You got to know what's going on in your body. We had this discussion at a different time where, you can have all these business executives that know every possible accolade about their business, top line revenue, cost of goods sold, their whole entire balance sheet. They know every single number. Then you turn around and ask them, hey, what's your testosterone level? What's your free level? What's your total level? What's your glucose? What's your A1C? These are all numbers that are very crucial for longevity and performance. And everybody wants the performance along with longevity. And here's where I think this healthcare system is truly going, especially down the functional medicine. Healthcare used to always be about just expanding your lifespan. So how long can you live? But here's the problem with that. What happens when you get to a point where your movement is so impaired and your quality of life is just shit? Sure, your lifespan may be optimized for longer, but your quality of life sucks. So you're in a wheelchair for 5 years, and that's part of that. So the difference now is we have the ability to have much more insights into labs and much better testing all the way around and just much better products, access to peptides, which is huge. So now instead of just optimizing for lifespan, we're able to optimize for health span. So you're able to elongate that period of time that you're completely active and you're healthy and you're thriving. And this can be something, when you do it right, you can extend that by an average of at least 7 years. Think about that. 7 extra years you can be running around with your kids or even grandkids. How much would you give to be able to go do that? Especially for people that don't have that ability. It's crucial and it's massive. And that's where this new wave of healthcare is coming in. And that's why you need to get with the correct provider that understands healthcare and understands peptides and where healthcare is going to be on the leading edge of this science.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, to wrap this up, you talked about what our ancestors were eating 100 years ago. Makes me sad. It makes me sad that my probably great-great-grandfather never had a brown sugar and cinnamon Pop-Tart in his life. So it's just, hey, but today's world, John, thank you. That's valuable information. Guys, don't take chances with your health. Don't take chances with your health. Don't get information from just anyone. If you're looking for answers, John's graciously and generously volunteered to answer questions. I'll put a form in the link below on the YouTube. Click it, ask him questions. He's brilliant. That's why I have him as a trusted friend. Do the same. Use him. And guys, let's go.